Oh no, not the finest again. Oh my god, I don't know what is...
Dinosaurs. They're definitely better than cold sores. For centuries, they've captured the imagination of children, but we don't all have Chris Pratt's relationship with Velociraptors. Some dinos were truly terrifying, truly dangerous, and not to be messed with. From the 600-kilogram ankylosaurus to another dinosaur with a hard name to pronounce.
600-kilogram ankylosaurus. I thought Ankylosaurus was much bigger than this.
These are the most dangerous dinosaurs in the world.
Also, the thumbnail itself is complete doo-doo. It shows what looks to be a mosasaur, which is not a dinosaur. It is an aquatic reptile that is more closely related to snakes.
Let's begin. Number 10. Ankylosaurus. Right, you're gonna be hearing a lot of big, confusing words in this video, so brace yourself. First up is Ankylosaurus, and no, that's not Latin for I have a sore ankle, it's the name of our first dinosaur. Ankylosaurus means fused lizard. They belong to the family of Ankylosauridae and are classified as reptilia.
Just use a random Ankylosaurus art from DeviantArt instead of using Jurassic World depictions or whatever ridiculous depictions there are.
They could grow in length to about 9 meters and weighed over 6,000 kilograms.
Dude just said 600 kilograms and now this guy's saying 6,000 kilograms. Okay, at least this one got it a bit closer. Still a bit too small for my liking, but it's alright.
The fossils suggest that they were alive during the Cretaceous period in the western part of North America. A complete skeleton of the species has not yet been discovered, so illustrations of what they look like are somewhat rooted in guesswork, meaning they could be inaccurate. But at the very least, we have some kind of idea of what they may have looked like.
Whatever it may have looked like, Ankylosaurus did not gallop like this in Jurassic World evolution.
This dinosaur was heavily armored, which would help in defense and attack at the same time. Of course, when we say armor, we don't mean Knight of the Round Table style chainmail, as awesome as that would be. We mean their skin was notoriously tough, giving them an added sense of danger. Number 9. Sarcosuchus.
It's a very common way that bad paleontology videos pronounce Sarcosuchus.
Sarcosuchus means flesh crocodile. They happen to be very distant relatives of crocodiles and are said to have lived around 112 million years ago, back when Betty was just turning 50. These are perhaps the biggest crocodiles to have ever lived, with their fossils found in Africa.
Wow, okay, you just made Dinosuchus cry in the corner in terms of crocodilians. In terms of crocodiles? Also, Sarcosuchus is not a crocodilian.
They are classified as reptilia and belong to the family of Paleontology. They are believed to have been as long as a city bus, which is well over 12 meters, and they weighed in over 8 tons.
How do you not spell tons correctly? And you just casually made this 8-ton Sarcosuchus the queso of Sarcosuchus.
The mere skull was the size of a fully grown male human. One bite and you disappear.
By the way, Sarcosuchus is not a dinosaur.
Number 8. Troodon.
Man, when can people just stop on the Troodon and all of that? Okay, just realized this video was made in 2019, so maybe I'm a little bit too harsh on this paleontology video.
These happen to be small dinosaurs resembling a bird and are said to have lived during the late Cretaceous period. Their fossils were first discovered in 1855 in North America. More species were discovered in Texas, New Mexico, and Wyoming. The name means wounding tooth. They are classified as reptilia and belong to the family of Troodontidae.
Aren't birds technically reptiles too? Because birds are dinosaurs and dinosaurs are reptiles.
They are said to have been around 2.5 meters in length on average and could weigh over 50 kilograms. Like I said, they were small, but the smaller they get, the deadlier they get as well, at least in most cases. Number 7. Kronosaurus.
This is another marine reptile and not a dinosaur. Guys, this is just mainstream syndrome stuff.
The name means Lizard of Kronos, which sounds like something from Skyrim, but is apparently real. They were named after the Greek leader called Cronus. These dinosaurs...
I apologize for using this same old clip, but this perfectly describes what sort of shenanigans this channel is up to.
Had a short neck, but don't let their limited swallowing ability fool you. They were still pretty dangerous and not to be messed with. They're classified as Sauropsida and belong to the family of Plesiosauridae. They reached the length of 13 meters.
It could be an acceptable estimate for 2019, but for 2024, it's just bad.
But would usually average around 9 or 10 meters. They were equipped with large teeth exceeding a length of 7 centimeters. The largest of its teeth reached a length of 30 centimeters, so these guys had one heck of a bite on them. Number 7. Allosaurus.
It didn't say top 10, but I don't know why Allosaurus is above something like Ankylosaurus.
These guys lived during the late Jurassic period around 155 million years ago. The name Allosaurus means different lizard, nice and specific. They're classified as reptiles and belong to the family of Allosauridae. They're said to have a large skull with several sharp teeth and averaged around 9 meters in length. If there's one thing a lot of these dinosaurs had in common, it's seriously intense chompers.
Most of those carnivorous theropods need to have some sort of powerful hunting mechanism, like their head, for example, their jaws.
I would not want to have to brush those things. It would be like trying to wipe plaque off a razor blade. Some studies suggest that they could reach the length of 12 meters.
This is Saurophagonax, mature version.
They had a heavy tail suggesting greater balance. They've been estimated to weigh in at around 2.3 metric tons.
Which is quite the size, quite big, especially for 2024 standards.
Just imagine one of these bad boys chasing after you. You wouldn't stand a fighting chance. Number 5. Amphicoelias fragilimus.
Supposedly the longest dinosaur is only number 5 on the list. This is a little bit concerning for the rest of the paleontology, the rest of the other 4.
Lots of dinosaurs have an absolute mouthful of a name, and the Amphicoelias fragilimus is no exception. The literal translation is bioconcave, and they were, simply put, really super long. They were, at their longest, the longest known vertebrates to have ever existed, with lengths averaging between 40 to 60 meters and weighing around about 122 tons. To put that into a little perspective, 1 ton is around 2,000 pounds, so one Amphicoelias fragilimus weighed 244,000 pounds.
The more accurate pound measurement is 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds, or 454 times 2.2, for example.
The heaviest known man living at the time of this video is only 974 pounds by comparison. Must be nice for him to know that there's something bigger than him.
There is an elephant, a hippo, a rhino. Average ones are still bigger than that guy.
Classified as reptilia, they belong to the family of Diplodocus. Number 4. Sinosauropteryx.
That's how I pronounced T-Rex when I was much younger. Now that I got out of it, that's just not how you pronounce it, Sinosauropteryx.
Another dinosaur, another difficult name to pronounce. I'm just gonna call them the Scary Boys. The Scary Boys' true name translates to Chinese reptilian wing. They were a Compsognathidae dinosaur, which means they were small carnivores, generally conservative in form, and hailing from the Jurassic and Cretaceous periods.
Sinosauropteryx only existed in the early Cretaceous 124.6 to 122 million years ago.
They, much like the Archaeopteryx, have bird-like features, and that's what initially inspired the ideas, way back when, that there may be a connection between old-school dinosaurs and modern-day bird.
I think you're confusing Sinosauropteryx with Sinornithosaurus.
The Scary Boy was the first dinosaur not included in the Avialia evidence to have wings. They had furry coats of feathers, long tails, and short arms, and were considered to be close relatives of the, and here we go with the tricky words again, Compsognathus.
Compsognathus. Gosh, why are you with all those crazy pronunciations? Jeez.
Relatively cute dinosaurs about the size of a modern-day turkey. Presumably Fred Flintstone and co. would eat those for Thanksgiving. That was a joke. We know cavemen wouldn't celebrate Thanksgiving. Please don't mention it in the comments. You're gonna mention it in the comments, aren't you? Whatever, let's get back on topic. Both the scary boy and the, what I'm now going to call, little turkey fellas.
It's this stage 7 of mainstream syndrome, where not only is stuff mainstream, but names are also very crazy.
Belong to the family of Compsognathidae. They lived in the northeastern part of China during the Cretaceous period, and were the first dinosaurs to be discovered from the Yixian Formation. Many aspects of their biology are illustrated with the help of well-preserved fossils. Number 3. Velociraptor.
Guys, but the Sinosauropteryx and the Velociraptor are above a supposedly stupidly long sauropod. What even is going on here? Is this list even ordered? Probably not.
You are no doubt aware of the Velociraptor. They had a central role in a tiny little indie film called Jurassic Park that you may have heard of. That franchise would have clued you into just how big of a nuisance and potential threat these guys would have been back in their day.
Also, with the condition that herbivores are defenseless meat sacks, especially hadrosaurs.
They may have been small, but much like somebody who's camping, they were intense. The name Velociraptor means swift Caesar, an apt way of describing just how fast yet deadly they could be, and also a great name for a rock band. The swift Caesar were said to have lived just over 75 to 71 million years ago and were part of the late Cretaceous period. Their fossils were found in China and Mongolia. They're classified as reptilia and belong to the family of Dromaeosauridae.
By the way, I think you could just strangle it. I'm probably downplaying the Velociraptor's danger.
They could weigh up to 15 kilograms and would grow in length up to 2 meters.
15 kilograms might be a little bit too small for the Velociraptor, not gonna lie. As skinny as the Nikocado.
Though they might seem potentially harmless considering their size and weight, they would usually attack in herds, and that's where the problem starts.
I have never heard of anyone calling a group of Velociraptors a herd before.
Besides, they're really fast. Like, really fast. Usain Bolt fast. Petro Maximoff fast.
Casual heavy misconception of Velociraptor speed. Doesn't mean they're slow. They're just not as fast as most people might think.
Barry Allen fast. How quickly can I disappoint my mother fast? Number 2. Liopleurodon.
Not a dinosaur. I guess y'all were inspired by the 25-meter Liopleurodon from Walking with Dinosaurs.
We've discussed the Liopleurodon in one of our other videos about underwater monsters, and there's no doubt in our mind that they were truly one of the deadliest and most dangerous dinosaurs to have ever existed. They were also one of the most dangerous sea creatures to have ever lived. The name means smooth-sided teeth, and they were marine carnivorous reptiles. They belong to the family of Pliosauridae. They lived during the Middle Jurassic period and could grow to the enormous length of 25 meters.
How did I jinx the walking with? In all seriousness though, this guy really doubled down on the 25-meter Liopleurodon. This is not even logic anymore. This is dumb.
Their fossils were mostly found in England and France, and one of the species is known to have existed somewhere in Russia. They had 4 strong limbs, which indicate them to be really powerful swimmers. A study shows that this body structure would provide excellent acceleration, if not top speed. Simply put, if you were underwater with one, you would want to get away from it as fast as you could. Suitable bath time buddies, they were not. Number 1. Tyrannosaurus Rex.
And just casually shows that this is not a T-Rex skeleton.
It was inevitable, but of course, we're gonna end on the Tyrannosaurus Rex, aka the T-Rex. One of the most iconic dinosaurs of all time, thanks to Steven Spielberg cementing their place in history by making them a major feature in the Jurassic Park movies. It worked for Velociraptors, it worked for Jeff Goldblum, it worked for the T-Rex.
They actually showed an accurate T-Rex. Okay, compared to the other finest paleontology video, the other one that is absolutely ridiculous, this one isn't terrible, but it's still really, really bad.
We are all incredibly familiar with the name Tyrannosaurus Rex. Like David Bowie, Beyonce Knowles, or Sherlock Holmes, it's just one of those names that everybody knows. But just like every other dino on this list, their name means something else. Tyrant lizard. Now, if that doesn't sound like the name of one of Dr. Neocortex's crazy creations, we don't know what does. The fossils suggest that these guys used to live in western North America some 67 million years ago. They, like most of the more dangerous dinosaurs, are classified as reptilia and belong to the family of, and I swear if I have to say one more hard word, I'm gonna slam my head against my desk.
Deal with all those hard words. This is how paleontology works anyway. Don't just run around. Don't just cower in fear because of those crazy names like Micropachycephalosaurus or something. Even I can pronounce some of them right. A bunch of incredibly long names like Micropachycephalosaurus, for example.
Tyrannosauridae. They could grow over 12 meters in length and would usually weigh over 6 metric tons.
Even bigger than that, just look at Sue, just look at Scotty.
Again, time for a little weight perspective. 1 metric ton is equal to 1,000 kilograms, or 2,205 pounds. That's 2 times as heavy as the tongue of a blue whale, 2.5 times heavier than a giraffe, and 3 times as heavy as a rhinoceros. On a side note, if anyone has a measuring scale for sale, please let us know, we just broke ours. Despite their size and weight and the significant length of their tail, they had infamously small arms.
They still have some use, like defending against other T-Rexes, just not rip their arms off.
They sadly could never join in with "if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands." So while they may have been one of the most dangerous dinosaurs to ever live, at least there was no danger of them grabbing you or tickling you. Eating you? Sure. Stomping on you? Yes. But grabbing you? Nah.
Guys, stop joking about the T-Rex's arms. They are not completely useless like most people say. Just take a look at Kronosaurus, for example. They are actually useless.
Which of these dinosaurs is the most dangerous? And who would win in a fight? A Velociraptor the size of a T-Rex, or loads of T-Rexes the size of Allosaraptors? Also, check out our other cool stuff showing up on screen right now. See you next time.
I feel like they got progressively worse over time and just came up with more and more ridiculous statements to keep their audience, retain their audience. It just doesn't really work out. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy it.